Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about Electrameccanica stock, ticker symbol SOLO, Solo. So this is one of the hottest electric vehicle stocks on the market now. If you guys have been following my channel, you know how much I've talked about. I just recently talked about Xpeng. I mentioned NIO earlier, Tesla, of course. So, as more and more people kind of move away from the expensive cities and move into the second-tier cities and the suburbs, they're going to need transportation. And I talked a little bit about this earlier in my top 5 electric car stocks, that the growth for electric vehicles is massive. So in comes Solo. So what is Solo about? Well, this is kind of one of the stocks that actually hasn't been talked about much, basically because they haven't really delivered a lot of vehicles, but the potential for this company is enormous. So as I'm looking at the stock price right now, it's about $5.28. Now I actually got in this stock. I bought it at $2.47 because I know about the potential with all their products and just the long-term vision of the company. So let's give you guys a quick breakdown. So the company is based out of Vancouver, Canada, and it has a market cap of around $300 million. So right now the company produces around 3 vehicles. So let's just head over to the website and take a look. So as you can see here, there's 3 vehicles now. There's the Solo, which is kind of like their flagship model, another sports car which is called the Tofino, and then another sports car which is called the E-Roadster. But the Solo is the main vehicle. So basically, due to the whole pandemic situation and stuff, the way people, get around the city, it's really changed. So if we take a look here, it says every day 119 million North Americans commute using personal vehicles, and 105 million of them commute alone. Step into the future of driving, reduce your gas bill to 0, eliminate your environmental impact, turn your commute into the highlight of your day. So here's a look at this car. Now I'm not gonna lie, it's a different looking vehicle. It's probably not something that you're used to seeing on the road, but I would say it's a blend between a motorcycle and a car. And there's a lot of reasons why I like this over motorcycles as well, because me personally, I've ridden motorcycles in the past. I've gotten into motorcycle accidents, and I've seen a lot of motorcycle accidents traveling all over the world, not just in North America, but in other countries as well. So the first thing I think of is just for safety reasons, for people that want a vehicle like a motorcycle or like a smaller car. It's just much safer. So then the second thing we have here is the commuting ability. So this is probably one of the biggest positive points for people that are in, commuting to work, whether you live in the big city or something like that, is that it's a small car. So how many times you're sitting in traffic or you're driving and you're just the only person in the car? When you buy a car, especially an electric car, you're basically paying for every seat. So a decent electric car, obviously they've got some cheaper ones out there, but for a lot of people, they like driving something of decent quality. So that means maybe like a Tesla, a Ford, something like that. Well, that car is going to be more expensive. So the Solo is only $18,500 because you're basically paying for one seat. So if you're like a single person or you're commuting to work, obviously alone, you can definitely benefit from a cheaper car that's smaller, that has HOV lane access, and that it's just easier to get around it. Sometimes it can be such a hassle to have like a big brawling SUV, and you're driving it and it's costing you a fortune, you're filling up the gas tank and all of these things, when something smaller, more economical, and cheaper can get the job done a lot easier. So this is one of the reasons why this car is so popular, and it has some pretty nice specs. It goes up to 100 miles, and it has 80 mile per hour speed range, and it only takes around 2.5 hours to charge it, and it goes from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. So obviously it's not a huge fast car, but the good thing is there's a lot of demand for this car. So let's get into those demand numbers. So as you can see here, this article is on Seeking Alpha. Back in 2008, the company already had over $2 billion worth of electric vehicles. And as you can see here, the company already has a huge demand for its vehicles. So as you can take a look at this report was posted a few years ago, and approximately the company had approximately 75,000 pre-orders, depending on which source you're using. So the demand is there. And me personally, looking at this vehicle as someone, I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., this would have been the perfect vehicle for someone like me when I was commuting to work, when I was even in high school, because I had a small Ford Escort and I wanted a cheap car. I wanted a small car, but even with that car, majority of the time I was just commuting by myself. If I had something like this, it would have been just more easier to get around, and it would have been a lot more better for the environment. So I kind of wish they had this car, and I'm actually planning to get one of these cars as well because I think it is a fantastic solution. But the nice thing about Solo is that it's not just this electric car. They also have a couple of sports cars as well, four-seater sports cars. So the company is also diversifying into other different products. I believe they have a family vehicle in the pipeline. And the good thing about all of their cars is all of their cars are electric. So here's their other sports car. Okay, so the company has some other options as well. This is for more of kind of a bachelor type sporty vehicle. So the Solo is obviously like the one of the cheaper offerings. But if you want something that's a little more flashy, this one's actually a two-seater car. It's called the Tofinho, and has a much longer range, 250 miles, 125 miles per hour. As you can take a look at it. Pretty cool car. It looks like something like you would see like a Porsche Boxer or something like that. But remember now, all of these cars are electric. And then they have another car that they're in production. It's called the E-Roadster. So this is like a little bit bigger car. Once again, another sports type vehicle that they're selling. Okay, so this is more of a vintage car. This looks like a car you would see out of kind of like some of those old school James Bond movies. So this one is called the E-Roadster, and it's just it's really a really classic looking car. I guess it would look something like a classic looking Porsche, you know, maybe from the 60s or 70s, something like that. You know, very classic looking, and definitely an interesting car that they're adding to their product line. But that's not all, guys. So also the company recently is making a delivery vehicle. So why is a delivery vehicle important? Remember I touched on earlier how so many people are delivering things now. So the gig economy has really caught on fire, and you have a lot of people going around the city. They're delivering food through Uber Eats. They're delivering through, even Lyft is doing delivery services now. So this is like a commercial version of the Solo for deliveries. And as you can see here in the back, there's a compartment where people can store things like packages and food and stuff like that. So this is much safer than motorcycles, because in a lot of cities in the world, people use motorcycles and mopeds to get around, and those things are very dangerous, guys, because you can, if you get into an accident or you get hit, you're actually thrown from the motorcycle or the moped. But this is a small enough vehicle like a motorcycle for one person, but you're protected inside the vehicle. So it's just much safer. And this one is coming out in early 2021, guys. So this company is just an awesome, revolutionary thinking company. I'm not going to call them like Tesla, but I like the creativity, and I like that they're thinking outside of the box. They're kind of, and this plays right into the whole social distancing thing. You know, people have been social distancing themselves now for quite some time, even though people are obviously itching to get out around people again. I think some of these things are effects of the whole pandemic are going to stick long term. People are going to be more considerate being around tons and tons of strangers, where, you know, there's no guarantee that vaccines and things like this are going to fix all of these problems. And the good news is that the company is already in production mode, although there aren't a ton of vehicles yet. So far, ending in Q3 2020, they've produced just 6 Solos. But the good news is that they're opening retail locations all over America, and they plan to really start ramping up sales in Q4, and especially in 2021 when the utility and fleet version, the one with the hatchback on the back, comes into play. So there's a lot of good things going on with this company, and things are starting to move forward. So now if we take a look at the actual numbers, of course, you know, the company is not generating a ton of revenue, obviously, but you know, this is kind of a hold and wait for the future type play, just like you saw with many stocks like NIO, Li Auto, Xpeng, even Tesla. You know, the stocks, they really didn't start moving until those delivery numbers started coming up. So there are some vehicles in the pipeline, and the company is losing money right now, but that's okay, because you know, they're just getting started, and I expect them to ramp up delivery a lot. Hey, $2 billion in pre-orders is a huge demand, and I've read a lot of watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and even read sections of Yahoo Finance and stuff like that. It seems like a lot of people are interested in this type of vehicle to get to work and get around the city, go to the gym and stuff like that. It just is a lot cheaper than a 4-seater electric car. So I hope this wraps things up, guys, about solo stock. I'm going to give you guys a greater overview. So now I want to leave you guys with a quick price target, a price prediction. So if we take a look here, I'm heading over on TradingView because I like to use their moving average lines. So, you know, usually when a stock crosses above its 20-day moving average, that's a pretty bullish signal. And as you can see here, it looks like we're forming a cup and handle. So, you know, the stock went down and then it passed this original resistance, and then it broke out back in July, you know, when a lot of those stocks were breaking out. And now already pre-market, it's kind of past that point. So right now, looking at the year-to-date chart, it looks like this stock is going to go a lot higher. My near-term price target is around $6 to $7, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this stock hit $10 or more by the end of the year. And especially when those deliveries start coming in 2021, you're going to see an absolute explosion. I think $300 million for this company is criminally low. To over $2 billion in pre-orders, more coming in the pipeline, yet the company is still under $1 billion. The stock is just too cheap in my opinion. So I think this is a really interesting play, and I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary on this company. And actually, I bought some options on it as well, and I'm making a little bit of money on options. I'm going to be giving you guys more videos on Robinhood options because I actually do the majority of my trading through Fidelity, and I have mostly long-term plays. But you know, these electric vehicle stocks are moving so much, I decided to start making some option plays. So with this call here, I was able to purchase a call expiring on November 20th, and I bought it for like 50 cents, so that'd be like $50 for the contract, and I'm already up 100%. So I think I'm going to be showing you guys some more ways to play this with options if you guys don't have a lot of money to actually buy a lot of shares. Although, full disclosure, I am a long-term shareholder through my Fidelity account. I'm playing options with the stock as well. So that's kind of a quick way to make some money, guys. If you want to play some of these EV stocks, buying some call options because these stocks are just crushing it right now. So that's it for now, guys. I hope I gave you guys a pretty good overview of the company, and it'd be awesome to see more deliveries. Usually there's a pretty strong correlation between deliveries and revenue, which drives stock prices higher. So that's it until next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And please smash the red subscribe button if you enjoy my content. I try to upload videos as often as I can to give you guys some ways to make your portfolio grow, because 2020 is a huge inflection point, and there's going to be a lot of millionaires made this decade. If you're not already a millionaire, then if you're getting into the markets now, the potential is there if you just keep your ear to what's going on in the world and in the news, and keep your money invested and put your money in good companies. You'll do just fine. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.